So, I'm going to do a tarot reading for myself. Where's the camera? There. Um, yeah, I'm going to do 4 cards from situation, 4 cards from obstacles, 4 from advice, and then 4 for the outcome, just to see what's back. Okay, so the first card that I've chosen is Justice, and it's reversed. So this card can, as reversed, will relate to injustice, so that the situation that I'm in, it can feel like things are really, really unfair. Um, it's telling me that I need to just accept that situation, um, even though I can't control it, because the thing that I can control is how I will handle it going forwards. Sometimes this card's about being financially cautious. It might be come up now in a situation just because I'm paying off like tax and things like that, but I don't. But I think it should be okay. Yeah, for me, that's not what it's about. It's actually more around reframing outlooks and acceptance. So yeah, justice is all about the judgments of things as well. So it could be, yeah, a good sense of sort of telling me to let go of my fears and things like that. So that's the first card. Okay, next we've got the Four of Swords. So if you can see there, you've got a knight who's just lying horizontally on a tomb. So he's got his, you can't see it on this card so much, but he's usually in full armor. And it's like he's in prayer, like he's resting. You've got a sword underneath the knight down there, and that's about being the point of focus. And then the 3 swords there are hanging down towards his head, and this is all about, look at him, just chilling out, slowing down and resting, which is funny in the situation column, because that's exactly what I'm doing right now. There's been a big shift and turning point recently, and this card is all about making sure that you're energetically ready and charged and you're physically ready before the next phase of your life or the next set of challenges. You've got to restore the body as well and heal the body and the mind. So yeah, it can also mean that when those challenges do come up, it's about staying silent and inactive and not being reactive. Yeah, like building up your strength kind of mentally and meditating, and just, yeah, creating space, peace, calm, tranquility, those kinds of things. It's also about connecting inwards and with your higher self, with the universe. So yeah, it's also about the need for seclusion. So to negotiate the situation, you need time alone to sit with it and time apart from other people, just to gather your thoughts and feelings so that you know how you're feeling. This card, Four of Swords, follows on as well from the Three of Swords, and that card is all about loss. Three keeps coming up for me at the moment. Um, yeah, it's about loss. The Four of Cards as well is great because it's also, spending time alone. But for me, and sitting with things, I've cleared like 100 past lives in the last week, taking time off work. I've literally meditated and definitely connected with my higher self and the universe this weekend. The loss part of this is funny because this is coming from, it was Mother's Day on Sunday as well. So it's just, that ties in with that as well, because it's inevitable to focus on loss there. But yeah, this card in the situation makes complete sense, and going inwards and connecting and healing. Okay. Next we have the Three of Swords reversed. Let's point it that way. This is actually good because the Three of Swords are about getting on with your plans and getting down to business, because it's reversed as well. And again, it's threes coming up again. It's about support. So normally when it's this way up, it signifies you've had a terrible experience, you've experienced loss, you've had something, you've got the heart has been pierced 3 times there. But because it's reversed, it's all about that kind of descent into sadness, being over, and about being on the road to recovery and healing. Sometimes, yeah, with this card, you don't always feel like things are getting better, but whatever it is that's been going on, you're in a place of strength to start being able to deal with that, which is great. So things can be a lot better. I mean, these cards, you know, they're subject to change depending on circumstance, but this card is signifying that things can be better. It's also a warning and well, not a warning, a reminder for me to keep doing work around like self-defeating habits, just so that that's possible and that I can heal and move on, which is great. Ooh, so next we've got the Empress. So my ruling planet is Venus, and the card, the Empress, is actually, she's ruled by the planet Venus. You can see there, I think you can see in her earring, she's got the kind of Venus earring there. And that's all about the divine feminine energy. So complete love, harmony. This is a card of fertility, and luxury as well. It's by the grace of this goddess kind of figure. She's usually depicted as being blonde, and in here you've got her hair. She's got stars in her hair. This again is signifying that like divine connection to the mystical realm. This card, for some people, as you can see, she's pregnant, is an indication of pregnancy and motherhood. Not for me, unless it's divine intervention. It's just an indication for me, probably, of a motherly, nurturing and caring attitude. I don't know if that's for me, though, if that's somebody else. Is there someone else? Anyway, so that's what that is. It can also mean the birth of a new idea, business, or project. There's a lot of good fortune around this card, and it means that the situations or projects or whatever it is I end up taking on would end successfully. So it's just about bringing those ideas forward and making sure I give myself the time that's needed to devote myself to them. Yeah, she's also your archetypical Mother Earth type. So, you know, yeah, spend time with Gaia. I guess that's what the pregnancy could relate to as well. Spending time in nature, things like that. So yeah, Mother of us all. Nine of Wands is next. Good old Nine of Wands. So this card is actually, I've done 4, so this is in an obstacle position. And as you can see from the card, this man is injured. He's clutching a wand, and he's looking over at those 8 wands behind him. This man is tired, he is worn down because he's already experienced so much, and it looks like he now has to face additional challenges with the presence of these 8 wands looming there. However, it's a 9, and in a soul contract reading, the 9s are like the most powerful of all numbers, and people with these numbers, myself as well, have this unstoppable power and energy that comes from the frequency of the 9. So in this card, the 9 of Wands looks like it's the sort of final challenge before he reaches his goal, and he will reach his goal. He'll have to endure this test of his strength and character, but he will reach the finish line. So that's why that's come up. It can also come up when you're tired, overly tired and battered, or you know you've faced a lot of significant challenges in your life and struggle. And sometimes when you just think you've made progress, you can suffer another setback with this card. But this card is also telling you that that's okay, and to trust that it's just, again, another test of your resilience, and that every time you overcome this, you're getting stronger, and you do have the inner resources that are necessary to overcome anything, even though it seems impossible. So it's an interesting card, but the fact that it's got a 9 in it, it just keep pushing. You've got that unstoppable energy. You're close to the finish line, so just don't give up, because it's the final challenge before you get what you want and make them a reality. So that's that card. I think for me it's probably about laughing it off as well. Just, here we go again, it's part of the game. So now we've got the 6 of Pentacles, and this is reversed. So again, in the object column, this is all about wealth and like material things that you can hold in your hands. So in the case of the 6 of Pentacles reversed, this can point out a feeling of unfairness or a lack of balance within your life, and it can be around money or possessions, and it's not always the result of your actions. It can be just there's quite a bit of unfairness here. That's come up a few times now. The 6, it can also point to having a lack of charity, but that can mean lots of different things. That could be around being too giving to others and not having it reciprocated, or perhaps putting my own needs second. Yeah, so it's about, I think that this one, it's about setting boundaries. Like if I'm doing healing for people, do it when I want to do it on my time as well as theirs. So it's kind of a bit of a warning card. Maybe it's like something's lacking the ultimate harmony and balance that it should have, and the result of that is that it can impact me. And again, about remaining calm and not falling into that feeling of victimhood if I have setbacks. It might be around the house buying as well, because it's such a material kind of card. It could be something to do with that. Okay, next in obstacles, we've got the Emperor. So usually on this card, he's sat on his throne and it's got like 4 ram's heads, which ties in with Aries, and the planet Mars as well. We've got Mars on there? No. So they're not on this one, but you do see on this one he's holding in his right hand, he's got the Egyptian Ankh, which is all about the symbol of life, and here in his left hand is the orb, and that's just to do with, that represents the world over which he rules. So in a positive position, this is brilliant, but it's in an obstacle position, which can likely mean, it's the 9th as well, isn't it? No, 4. Sorry, it can also mean that it can have dealings with men who want to be in control, which will definitely lead to a power struggle with me. And that might be a part of 10-1 as well, masculine disempowerment. So I have to be, this is a card around someone controlling, being in power, most likely a man. I wonder if this is something to do with not succeeding or achieving something, or holding on to control. Yeah, so that's something to be mindful of, and conscious of. Yeah. Okay, so obstacles. Reversed. We've got the Page of Wands. So this can be about being a bit overwhelmed and struggling to see things through. This card is typically ascribed to people who are starters rather than finishers. That's not what she said. Because it's in an obstacle position, it's about bringing foresight and wisdom into a situation to transmute the difficulties of the card. And that can then trigger the positives in this, which is like a courage. So it's also about venturing into meaningful projects, and avoiding wasting time doing things which just aren't right for me at the moment. Okay, so that's that card. Next we move on to advice. And of course we've got the Hermit reversed. I get the Hermit a lot. And for me this is all about making sure that situations don't trigger me to start completely withdrawing into myself. And it's also, this time, it's also about looking at how other people play into the situation. There's a risk that I could push someone away, or that I might be pushed away, or something like that. Anyway, but it's a form of isolation, and it's all about internalization. I might have sort of ignored what I should be doing for my inner self, and not listening to my gut. So yeah, for me, this is about being communicative and not just disappearing inside, and not ignoring feelings. If something doesn't feel right, I have to make sure that I stand by what's right for me. I'm usually good with my intuition, but if there's a lot going on, that might trigger that, so that's good. Okay, so that's good. I will reconnect and make sure that I will listen to what's coming up. Okay, next. Again, reversal. Queen of Wands. So this is usually about burnout. And it comes from trying to do too much at once. So again, prioritize what's right, take a step back. For me to tell people as well, if I'm feeling overwhelmed or burned out, just let people know. Sounds like I'm going to be tested around boundaries, maybe with this card, setting energetic boundaries, and listening to my body. That was something that's come up over the meditation again this weekend. To listen to my physical body as well, to make sure it's, I'm not too much in my head and that I'm looking after it. This can also, this card can sometimes come up as well if there's somebody in your life that's got a bit of a dark streak to them. Not that they're dark or evil or anything like that, but it's a warning. It's a warning card. Maybe, and it can be around someone who likes playing people off against each other. Someone who likes drama. Okay, right. Okay, so these people they can appear quite intelligent and they can appear quite charming and creative, but actually they just like drama and they don't really have that knowledge. It's a warning about someone who's had a setback and because of that doesn't want anyone else to be happy. Okay, so misery loves company card, basically. Okay, that makes sense. That's a bit of a warning for me just to be mindful of that person. Thanking you. All right. Ace of Wands. This is great. This is a call to action card, so hopefully it's got at least a 6% click-through rate. Marketing joke. So this is about, so this is all about making sure that you're prepared to be ready to make a decision, because when you do, you're going to have to fully commit to that. It's an ace, which is wonderful. It's all about urging you to just go with it, go with the new possibilities and opportunities. And there's probably going to be an emphasis as well around personal growth with this. The ace card is all about positive energies, which is good. So giving you that kick and that lease of life. It's also really fiery and passionate. So, I wonder if this can relate. I'm hopeful this could relate to love as well. It's that sort of, fiery energy. So I've had a few fiery cards. But it's also about making sure you're careful, because if it goes unchecked, these energies are great, but can be quite a lot to handle, which I've got a lot of, I know about that. Given we've just moved into Aries as well, astrologically, I wonder if that ties in with that. Who knows? All right. Death. Good. All right, so this is just all about embracing change. Don't run and hide from anything. Just accept it, deal with it, go with it. Good old death. So now the outcome cards. We've got 7 of Wands. So 7 of Wands for me is all about being grounded. I'm going to be challenged by people who want what I have. I don't know where that would be. So I'm going to have to be quite clear and able to defend that. It's not about losing out so much as just got the contender for the throne. So I just need to be wary of that. There can be some setbacks, but I just need to keep fighting for my beliefs. And anyone who sort of threatens or opposes that, I just need to be able to communicate with them and to make sure that I smooth things over. That's interesting. Yeah, it's about standing firm in my beliefs. But I don't think it's too dramatic. But it could be just around jealousy, other people's jealousy, perhaps. So there's that one. The next outcome card. We've got 9 of Cups reversed. So there you go. Look at that. This is all about disappointment usually and failure around getting what you truly desire, even if you deserve it. However, it's a minor arcana card rather than a major, so even if it's a setback, it's not long term. Just remember that. And it could actually be related to my thoughts or feelings, and maybe I'm, creating that a little bit. So it's probably good to just keep doing clearing and to rid myself of that like bitter or boastful behavior. Yeah. And then I can make this a sort of thing of the past. It's also about being content with what you have, picking yourself up if you've had a fall. Okay. And not wallowing. Don't be wallowing or victimy. Strength. Okay, this represents strength, great determination, and it's power again. And it's fueled by me, my inner strength, my personal power, the strong will and determination. I don't rule things by giving power away to other people or by trying to control people. That's important. I have to be quietly influential and persuasive. People can underestimate the power because it can seem invisible, but that's an advantage. So it's about controlling without any need for kind of excessive force. Yeah, and then you're kind of calling the shots, but quietly. And it's about overcoming fears, challenges, doubts, and just finding that power within. Yeah, and seeing situations through to the end. It can also be, as you can see the woman there with the lion, she's like taming it. She's like a lion tamer. So it can also be about taming animal instincts, which makes sense. I need to not be rushed and reactive or have too much of a fight or flight response. Feelings like rage, anger, sadness, guilt, shame, they can all arise in certain situations, and that's fine and that's normal, but it's about just accepting them and healing from them. Cool. And finally, Queen of Pentacles. All right, this is good. Oh, this is a nice card. So this is guidance. This is about seeking guidance, and it's from another woman who's wise. She's taken on a kind of motherly figure. As you can see there, she's very nurturing. And she wants to help me maneuver my way through and achieve my goals with using her knowledge and her common sense. She can, so she shows me a lot of love and also the way forward if things get confused or I feel a bit stranded. So with her advice, she'll make sure that I don't make dangerous decisions, perhaps financial. Okay, and she offers support, principle, precautions, and lessons that she's learnt from her life. She's a self-made woman, and she values you for your independence and wisdom. Okay, in the hope that I'll raise others and make them responsible. Okay, she's a very working person, but also has a love of comfort and luxury. Okay, I know what that is. So that was a not so brief tarot reading, but I'm getting faster.